everyone, Larry Chen here. I'm at Radford Racing School in Arizona. I'm really excited because this week I'm taking the classes to get my full SCCA racing license. If you guys follow me, you guys know I already got my provisional NASA license through their competition school. And instead of petitioning for an SCCA license, I wanted to go through the correct steps to earn it through actual skill, through repetition, through learning. And that's why I'm here at Radford Racing School. I'm going to take you guys along every step of the way. You guys know a big supporter of this channel is Pennzoil. So Pennzoil does sponsor Radford as well. It worked out perfectly because Pennzoil is such a big supporter of us keeping the cars that we love on the road and staying on the track as long as possible. Right now we're on track doing some heel to toe exercises. These are manual transmission, 500 horsepower, 392 Dodge Challengers, and they are a heavy boat. They're so much fun to drive. I have actually liked these for so long since they came out, along with the Hellcats. I love the way they look. I understand that there's a certain stigma when it comes to these vehicles, you know, unfortunately, but they're so much fun to drive. It is a driver's car in that it is comfortable, but has so much power. It's manual transmission. What we're doing right now at Radford is they're having us practice heel to toe downshifting. Now, I know a lot of people don't heel to toe when they're racing or when they're going really fast or when they're driving time attack, but some people do. It also depends on the car, depends on the corner. Sometimes when I'm driving my GR86, sometimes you just have to jam it into gear. You know, if you're coming off of a straightaway in 5th gear, sometimes you just have to jam it into gear into 2nd. And from what the instructors have said, sometimes if you're endurance racing, just to save fuel, just to save wear and tear, you do just have to jam it into gear. You have to go from 5th or 6th to 2nd or 6th to 3rd or whatever. Sometimes I have to hyper focus so much on making sure I'm doing proper threshold braking, and I don't even have any extra bandwidth to or dexterity with my foot to heel to toe. But sometimes I subconsciously do it, especially when it's a corner where it doesn't require a full braking force. If it's something where I just have to slow it down just enough for a corner, I realize that I naturally heel to toe if I'm driving a manual transmission car. If you're driving a PDK or automatic car, obviously that doesn't apply. But this is just a good exercise. This is a good way to get seat time, so that's what we're doing right now. And it's fun. They set up a little course for us to go back and forth, and we have an hour with this exercise.
To practice this in a different exercise as well, so this won't be the only time.
Okay. We just got done with the heel toe exercise. That was a lot of fun. This surprisingly was such a challenge to heel toe.
Yeah.
I don't know how it was for you, but I couldn't. I noticed the instructor was rolling his foot. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
So because the pedals are so wide, or they're so far apart, I really used my heel. I picked up my entire foot and I went like this to jab the gas.
So I rolled because my legs are so long that to be able to heel hits the steering wheel column. So I have no choice but to do the roll and not the actual heel toe, because I can't get my leg out far enough.
I also found that just doing one gear at a time was a little more difficult for me. Once I got into the rhythm, so I tried some 4th to 3rd to 2nd, I found that it was a lot easier to go boom, boom.
Got it.
And it was super smooth versus one at a time. I was like just almost thinking too much.
Too much anticipation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it would just be jerky.
Yep.
Right. But it was a fun exercise, and honestly, way more track time than I needed for that.
Yeah.
Like I did it back and forth a couple times.
Yeah.
Pull
Good.
over.
I was the opposite. I had a hard time getting it at first, so I came off, talked with an instructor for a little bit, went back out, and for me it was all just figuring out the positioning that was not only comfortable but allowed me to be consistent.
Yeah, and that potentially could mean the difference between what a couple seconds on the track.
Yeah.
When you're driving this, especially when we're hitting the track later.
I don't heel toe in the Skyline at all. I just
maybe this needs it
yeah.
for us to get all the time out of it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. NASCAR, baby.
What do you think?
Oh man, I loved it. Oval track, so good. I liked it a lot.
That was pretty challenging for me, honestly.
We're such different drivers. I feel like you and I are such different drivers.
Yeah, I feel like I'm too heavy-footed and I go into the corner too fast and I come out slower. I feel like I'm just really hard on the car, and that's something I have to work on. I'm like over braking, like braking last minute. I don't know. It's just, maybe I just need to get it out of my head. The thing that I'm working on the most is looking ahead, and it's really hard because it's almost like you forget. You lose concentration.
One thing, when the instructor pulled me in to kind of see how it was going, I was like, I could do this all day. If this is all we did, oval track all day. It was so good. I love that. It was great. It reminded me of like dirt track racing where I'm from. So popular. You just smoothing this in and out all the way around all day. Weird.
I wanted to go the other way just to even it out because my neck is like my neck is kinked from just like yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do oval track racing.
Oh, maybe that's your jam.
Yeah, maybe like a Skyline NASCAR.
Skyline NASCAR. I like that. Wait, wait, it might be easier for you since you're on the right.
I don't know.
You're closer to the wall.
What I really want to do, and might be cool for you too, is I would like to come back here sometime with our cars, with my Skyline, with your GR, and like and just redo everything that we're doing to see like what it's like in our car.
So much faster.
Oh man, it'd be so fun.
I mean, not in a straight line, of course, because these have 200 more horsepower than my car, but just handling wise, you know, it's also a big tire thing too. You know,
man, if this engine wasn't out of the Skyline right now, to have it here, to go like right now, like end of school, like hop in the car, go repeat this a couple times and just immediately see if I feel the difference, which I know I would be interesting. But the circle track thing was great in this car because again, like you could feel the rotation of the car so much more. It's so exaggerated in a bigger, heavier car.
It's almost like everything is in slow motion. Yeah. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Day one in the books. Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Thanks.
Uh-oh. I just want to say hi, guys. I just want to say hi. I won't hurt you. Come back. You're so cute. You're so cute. Where are you going? Where are you going? The day started off with a very fun exercise, slaloming. I love slaloming because I started off driving with Autocross, and of course the goal in Autocross is to get as close as you can to the cones without knocking them over. That even means touching the base. For this exercise, we tried to stay about 2 feet away. I probably got closer. I tried my best, my absolute best, not to knock over any cones, because I've kind of gotten a nickname. I get all these runs when I'm autocrossing, and a lot of the runs that I get are dirty, so they call me Dirty Larry. I don't know why they call me that. The second exercise was like an accident avoidance exercise, where they have like 3 stoplights or green lights, and then you choose which lane to get into, or they surprise you which lane to get into. That was a lot of fun. We did that for a little bit. Then we got into the classroom, and then they showed us some fundamentals, which a lot of the stuff Brian and I know, but of course it's good to have a refresher, and it's good to just keep hearing these things over and over. Like one of them, of course, looking ahead, looking way ahead at the apex and beyond that, to just set yourself up for success. Oh, look how fancy day 2 got. We got our name tags on the cars. Got Brian's.
The last time I had my name on a Radford car was a Lotus. Wow.
Whoa, Brian Janish.
It's the little things.
The little things
What a
that matter.
mood booster.
I'm so stoked on that. So day 2, we're gonna start with a braking exercise. We're gonna do some threshold braking practice, and we'll also do some ABS maneuver practice. So we'll see how that goes. Start off a little slow, and then, you know, pick it up. Hopefully it'll be a good day. That was more challenging than I thought.
Like the straight line or the turning?
This turning was pretty easy. Actually, you know what was more difficult for me?
What?
Was getting to 65 and staying consistent at
Yeah,
65.
I had one that was too slow. I had one that was way too fast.
Yeah.
But what I found, like the going in and turning out, the box thing was super easy. But coming to a stop without touching the brakes was actually kind of tricky.
It was difficult for me because I feel like I just apply way too much pressure all the time. So then what they were trying to get us to do was to apply one pressure, and then it's enough to stop at this certain point. It's pretty tough. It's not easy.
Yeah,
you know, I'm so used to just, you know.
Yeah, just stomp on it. Everything, yeah, what I'm learning right now is that I'm maybe a little too harsh on everything I do. From the way that I shift gears, to the way that I brake, to the way I accelerate, to the way I turn. I feel like I'm maybe just doing more than I need to do all of the time. Skid cars next. I'm gonna see how that's gonna work. I'm very curious about the skid cars because I wanna know if the caster gets affected by it, because the whole thing is light, right? The whole thing is kind of like lifted up by these casters. So then it makes me wonder if the caster or the alignment of the vehicle is affected in that there's no self-steer. So we'll kind of see, you know, because naturally if a car has some caster at all, the way it's set up, even from the factory alignment, it'll have self-steer. When you let go of the wheel, it'll try to correct and go towards the slide. But
I don't know.
I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah, well, I have no idea what to expect too. Generally speaking, when they do these kind of practice, they'll use water, but we're in the middle of the desert, so to wet a skid pad, it would be pretty messy and it would be expensive, I'm assuming. You know, it would be wasteful. Instead, we'll show you these vehicles that have these cool little casters on it that lift the chassis up off the ground and then puts a lot of the weight on these tiny dolly wheels, which allow you to have some spinning action. I just want to go full on drifting. That's what I want to do.
I just want to go back to the oval track and just NASCAR. That's all I want to do. I just want to turn.
You should have seen what this guy was looking at last night on racingjunk.com.
Oh,
a bunch
man.
of circle racers.
Yeah, might be it, man. Might
Bunch
be
of
it.
NASCARs.
Yep, NASCAR.
So then how close is this to actual drifting?
It's everything except for grip, right? So everything is just broke down in speed. The only differences that this has is because of the casters. The more sideways you get, the more it raises the car a bit. Right? So it's honestly more of a challenge.
So then does the alignment, is it affecting it the same? Like
There's still weight transfer.
I'm talking about the caster of the front tires.
So don't let the steering wheel tell you where to go. You always tell it where to go. You steer it where you want.
So it doesn't.
Caster still works, but you can say throw the steering wheel one direction or the other, say in drifting, right? I gotta keep the front end ahead of the rear, so you can. All that stuff still works. It's just to a less degree. It's more vague with steering, right? So again, power steering is vague, electric steering is vague. So it's all the same stuff, right? The fixes are all the same: front wheel drive, rear wheel drive, all wheel drive, but the causes may be different. Okay. Again, this is allowing me to do this at a slower speed rather than doing it at 50 or 150. This is also, say, better than a wet skid pad. The wet skid pad, you lose a certain amount of grip, say acceleration, compared to cornering, right? Cornering grip, you lose a lot more compared to it being straight. So this is more consistent all the way through. So yeah, great tool for what we do. Now your job is to just drive the pattern, recognize an understeer and an oversteer, and then correct it as needed. So what we're gonna do, first things first, let me show you. It's an oval. So what we're gonna do on Maricopa, same deal. I got a turn-in point, I've got an apex on, I've got an exit. Again, my job is to stay on that path.
Skid car, is it fun?
Yeah? It's fun. Yeah.
All right.
I like it. It's cool. It's sort of challenging, but once you
It's different.
Yeah.
It's different. It's not like a regular drift car. See, look at these casters. Look at this. It's on hydraulics. Car's on hydraulics.
Got switches. Green cone. So let's just drive the pattern first and let's feel how the car responds, right? So you come off the gas, no brake.
Oh, okay.
We'll turn
No
it
gas.
in. Yep, just to feel how it's responding.
Right.
Excuse me. Okay, so towards the green cone, that'll be your exit. Okay, then again, come off the gas. This is 20 mile an hour, no brake. Let's see how she feels. Yeah. Right, she feels good. Right, so how do you find the limit of a corner? We sneak up to it, right? So let's go like 22. A little bit more each time. Off the gas, 21, still feels good, so let's go a little bit more. Okay. When it doesn't feel good, that's when we can use that brake to set the nose of the car, right? So that's 24, turn in, still feels good, so let's go like a little bit more. Let's go 25, 26. Here's something coming, but we turn in, it feels vague, get right to the brake, and then hold that brake, get it back on your railroad track. Don't be afraid to add more steering when it does have steering control to give you a better angle from the apex off. And now when we turned in early, right, because you anticipated. So try to keep the pattern the same, right, the arc the same, and then gentle gas when you do go back to the gas. So let's do this. Let's do a donut on that circle up there. Okay, so donut, start off, this circle. Yep, drive in the circle, stay in the middle of the lane, basically, right? And that's where your vision's gonna be. And you're slowly gonna add the gas. Let's control the car first. Let's do like a lap. And then we'll progress into the gas and then just keep it sliding. Okay. Just like a normal donut, like you do, but trust the eyes. When you're ready, you can start adding some gas. And then just work into it and just control it. And then again, notice if I keep a certain amount of gas, I'm going to keep the angle where I want it. Notice you're a little bit tight, so you can move it wider, put it back where you want it. There you go. And then throttle controls the angle. If I give it more gas, it's going to increase your trajectory.
Second time on the oval. That's Brian's favorite exercise. Not really my favorite. It's fun, but I started doing it and wow, today I feel so much better. It feels a lot better. The car, for whatever reason, feels like it corners better. Maybe it's because I got a better night's sleep, but now I'm able to slide it in second gear coming out of the corner every single lap, and man, that was a lot of fun. So we're gonna break for lunch and then we're gonna see what's gonna happen after lunch. Just got out of the car and the class for today is over. Day 2 was so much fun. Handling these things around was a lot more difficult than I imagined. Part of it is that the tires are so worn and they're like plastic. They are all season, and the reason why they use those is because they need to last. And also another thing is they need to be able to handle the heat. So if you put on sport tires or if you put on summer tires, as soon as you drive in this insane heat, sometimes 115 degrees out here in Arizona, they overheat and then they get greasy and then you'll slide around. What's happened now is I feel like I've worn down the ones on my car to the point where every single one of these corners I'm sliding so much. It's almost like too much. Basically, as soon as I turn in, even just the slightest bit, the rear end slips. But of course, that's the fun of it, you know, trying to manage that. This is really cool. Wait, so then why is this sitting here now then?
Because we're waiting for Dodge to come pick it up.
Oh no!
And it's been here for a really long time, so literally we're hoping they forget about it.
Is it going to be maybe it's going to be one of their museum cars or something?
I don't know. I have a feeling one of the executives wants to have it for his own collection, so we might lose it to somebody that's higher up on the food chain.
Oh, so cool. It's so cool that this is here. Last ever VIN number, ever.
Well, not necessarily the last VIN number. It's just the only one accessible that's never been titled.
Oh, never been titled.
So it might not be the last one off the line.
Oh, so that means this could still be sold as a new car.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So
Super
just
cool.
the cool thing about it is this is the last one.
So cool.
These are the Demon 170s that we have.
Oh. How many do you have?
We're getting 5 more. So these are the first ones out there. These are pre-production cars, so they're making 3,300. 3,000 for the US market, 300 for Canada. These don't count for that number.
So these are to get licensed for 9-second passes or something like that?
And below.
And below.
Yeah, so you'll be, you take the course, you get your 9-second license out of that.
You could take the course and do wheelies.
Right out of the gate. So this one right here, 170, that's the very sought after triple nickel paint. All the options, got a parachute fixture in the back. This is the one when they did the last call at Las Vegas Speedway. They flew it in on the helicopter, landed it, did
This is the car?
This is the car.
No way.
So
That is so cool.
if you look at it to say provenance, which is the most sought after car,
This has
gonna
got to
be
be the
this
one, yeah. This is
because
so cool.
Reproduction, not part of that 3,000.
Wow. And it's certified to do wheelies because everybody in the world saw it do a wheelie.
That's his thing to say. They were very fortunate that they had the best driver around to do under 10 seconds and wheels lifted off the ground right after it landed. Yeah.
Crazy.
And this is another pre-production car, so again, to have
Whoa.
3 cars here.
I don't know where it went, but look at that. That is so cool.
It goes down the quarter mile.
Oh.
All those buttons.
Dang. So these are all the Formula 4?
Yeah, this is in the Advanced Formula 4 program.
Wow.
Brian doesn't fit.
I fit. This is cool. All the seat moldings.
Yeah, we'll fit every student with their own molding, so these are the
Nice.
backwards, but everybody gets their own.
Oh, you guys have go-karts too?
Formula tires, yeah, there's a go-kart track and a shifter-kart track, or there's the shifter-karts, go-kart track. Right in the middle of where you're learning now, we'll show you when it's a cold track what the go-kart truck looks like.
So many
You can
tires.
see the tire delivery came.
Oh, so these are for the Formula.
These are for the Formula cars, yes, and these are for everything else. But this nice big meaty tire from Goodyear.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
these things weigh next to nothing.
Wow.
So this is where all the action happens when a car comes off a class. Depending upon, you know, when it comes out, it might need brakes, tires, tuning. We bring it in here. They inspect it. They do all the tech. Again, if it needs new tires, they swap them out. Your car probably needs new tires and brakes, so they'll do that. They might have done that already. Sometimes these guys are here until 2 in the morning.
Oh my god.
But everything gets switched out.
Cool. Thank you. Well, I think it's time to go back to class. Day 3. Day 3 starts right now. Oh my god, I'm so excited. This is it. There's 2 jumps.
2 jumps, dude.
There's one in the front straight and there's one in the back.
It's kind of Dukes of Hazzardy in that we're driving Challengers.
Oh, it's so good.
And we're gonna
I can't wait.
Taking them off of jumps.
I can't wait.
Dang.
Oh, I'm so excited. Jumps. Sick jump. Fun. So I'm cheating and I downloaded a timer just so I can kind of see if I'm actually going faster or if I'm getting messier. I find that when I'm just open lapping, I try to push myself more and more and more and more, and then I get messier and messier and messier, and then I get more fatigued and the rear end comes out, and it's just a bad recipe. So what I'm really focusing my efforts on right now is to go out, get a warm-up lap, and then go for a couple fast laps. And that way I can really just focus on, okay, these are the only 2-3 laps I'm gonna do to really put all of my focus on and see if I can clean up my driving, not go as sideways versus yesterday. Yesterday I was just all over the place nonstop, and obviously it was a lot of fun, but I just tried my best to kind of improve my lap time, right? So in the beginning of the day, I was getting 108s on this course, which is pretty slow. 108s. I left traction control on because I got reprimanded yesterday for turning off traction control. You know, I'm just stupid like that. But anyways, I left it on. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave it on this morning. I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna drive, and it would cut power a couple places on the track. Then the instructor rode with me. He saw where I was making mistakes. He gave me a bunch of suggestions on where I can potentially improve my line, and also that fact that I'm just overdriving the car, you know, and also I don't have as much cornering speed. What I'm doing is I'm entering faster, slowing down, and then exiting, trying to exit fast, and that's hence the basically drift coming out of every corner. And then she's like, you know what, just instead of it being a V, just make it more of a curve and try to enter slower, or try to maintain the speed through the corner more, and then, you know, you'll improve your time that way. So then I took that to heart. He did a couple demonstration laps, and I was just blown away at how smooth the instructor is, and also how much more speed they were able to carry through the corners. So then I took that and then I ran with it, and slowly but surely my time started going down. First session out I got a 105, and then feel good about it, thinking, okay, maybe there's a 104 in it, maybe. Let the tires cool off a little bit. Now I'm on a 104.07, so like a 104 flat. So that means I know there's a 103 in it, But I do have to say the big change I did going from 105.5 to 104 was taking the traction control off, because what it's doing is it's pulling power pretty much any time I'm getting on it coming out of a corner to a certain degree, right? So it allows you to have slip angle just ever so slightly, but what it doesn't like is when you hit a bump, and this track is very bumpy. So when you cross the front straight where the drag strip is, cuts power, and that's the most important part where you need all the power, because it's the front straight. Also, when you go over the jump, cuts power. That's not good either. So, and I feel like it comes on intermittently every now and again. That equals to about a second. So I'm gonna try it again. Let me see if I can get a 103 something, even if it's a 103.9. I'll be happy. So we'll see how it goes. Hey,
first off, you jumped to restart.
First of all, you cheated. You cheated because you got out of the power band.
No, I was mind gaming you, and I jumped a little bit, and then you jumped the whole thing, and they yellow flagged it.
Well, that was a test.
That was no. They did. No, it was not a test. It was a green. It was gonna be a green flag. I was waiting for a green flag. You saw a flag and you went.
I thought it was a test. Well, okay. So when we had our drag race, when we had our drag race, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be in the power band in second, and then I'm gonna get the jump on you. But then you kept going faster. We were like at 45, and I'm like, I'm out of the power band now. and so then I was able to nose you. I was able to get in front of you, but obviously since you were on the inside, you still won.
I jumped you. So. But then what happened?
You went from second to fifth?
Yeah.
Why would you go faster though? You would have you would have had an advantage if you stuck to 25.
I know.
But you were like, we were at like 2,000 RPM left.
Dude,
that was so much fun. That was so much fun. That was a lot of fun. Just finished Autocross. That was so much fun. Out of the whole weekend, that was the best time, because while I've been timing myself along with Brian for every single track session on the Radford track as well as the West course here, there wasn't like a specific real goal. Of course, the goal is to get the fastest time possible. For me, it kind of goes to my roots. I learned how to drive on the Autocross course many years ago, and it just feels at home. It just feels so good because you're actually pushing 10/10ths. It's safe to push 10/10ths because if you go 11/10ths and you go off, you just hit a bunch of cones, no problem. The point is to really push the car and get the maximum time out of it. When you're doing that on the track, it gets dangerous. If you step over and you go off, you'll hit a tire wall or whatever, which I have done before. So it's best to really push it on an autocross. These tires are a little busted, so I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and finish them off. Here we go, day 4?
4, baby.
Day 4. So Brian and I are having a fun, friendly competition here. We downloaded this app, so we're timing ourselves. And for whatever reason, Wild Horse West wasn't on the app, so I just created it. So then Brian and I are the only ones on here. We just set our times. I had 4 laps and I got a 113.67 and he got a 113.98. So very close, just 0.3 off. I know where I have a lot of room to improve. I kind of just need to grow a pair, and there's 2 places where I know you can really cut off a lot of time. So this is the fun part about it. If I was just out there just driving to be driving, I would be, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably get a little more reckless and I'd probably slide all over the place. So, but for me to have a focused goal to go as fast as possible without sliding all over the place, trying to be neat, trying not to make mistakes, this is the best thing for me. Just to like, okay, I'm gonna try to get the best time possible. We're kind of playing time attack here. Second session, we're gonna go in, I'm gonna go for 112. So that's my goal.
112.
If I can go 0.6 of a second faster, that'll be really good. And I kind of see where we can improve, but where we can improve is very dangerous, it seems like.
I think our plan of attack should be you and I get out on track first.
Okay, all right, let's go. Oh my God. Okay, so I've been working at it for a couple sessions trying to get into the 110s. I was stuck at 111.2 for the longest time, and I just couldn't clean up my driving. I couldn't figure it out. And then the instructor came up to me and he's like, hey, I'm catching up to you on this certain corner. I'm catching up to you on turn 2. And I was like, all right, cool. So brake less, try to carry more speed through it. And I'm looking at the data. So I got a 110.43. Okay, so let's look at the speeds now. It's interesting because there's a lot of places that I improve, but there's a lot of places that I slow down. And I did get a better trap speed, 94 mile an hour. That's my best trap speed. And I slowed down here, which is crazy because I had way higher speed here before. So I don't know where I'm making up all this time, but yeah, I'm stoked on this. Wow, 110.43. I'm so glad I got that. I was stuck at 111 for the longest time. Man, these tires are so cooked though. They're just done. There's nothing left. They're out. So I just talked to the instructor and he crushed my little heart. He said in the morning when the track is really cold, they have been able to do 106s, but he also said that when it's really hot, the fast time is 110, so that makes me feel good. But it really just has no grip at all. I mean, you could tell from my on camera that I'm just feeding that wheel non-stop to try to keep this thing straight. I'm like really like a feather foot, just trying to get it to go forward and not sideways. So just finished the school, 4 days of non-stop driving and classroom time. It was so much fun. I do have my SCCA license now. I do have to pass a physical, but it's the same thing with NASA, no problem. So then when I have my ducks in a row and I have a race figured out, then that's when I'll apply for the license. And then I'll have my full license. Hopefully I can race with Rob from Z-Car Garage. He races in a lot of SCCA races. He says that once he has a spare Miata and spare 510, which I think he's working on right now, I can race either one of those. So spec Miata or 510 in some vintage series. That's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to that. But this has been a great experience. If you guys want to learn how to drive, if you guys want to learn car control, you gotta come to Radford. It is so cool. Even if you don't have any track experience at all, if you're just into cars and you just want to learn how to maneuver a car around at its limits, then this is the school for you. In hindsight, I should have done this school first before getting my NASA license, because it would have been nice to have a little bit of a refresher for all of these skills before I went for the very high stress, very tricky license to get. I am glad that I got both, but I wish I did it the other way, and I'm gonna tell everybody going forward to do it the other way. Do this than to do like a NASA comp school. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one.